Hello, everybody. This is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm back. I'm so excited. I have to tell you, I'm going to work on 2 journals and I'm going to tell you everything that's been going on in my life. It's been quite a deal lately. But I'll let you know, I'll show you what I'm going to be doing, and then while I do it, I'll let you know what's been going on. All right. So I moved, and you might have seen my videos with my new studio, small but filled to the brim with wonderful things. And I found these 2 covers that I've had for years. I don't have the text box anymore, but I thought they were really cool looking because it has like Atlas holding the world, and it's the Encyclopedia and Gazetteer, and I had 2 of them, and they're purple, and I love purple. So I'm going to make 2 journals, and one of them I've already reinforced the spine. I'm going to do the other one while I talk to you. One of them is going to be in all sorts, and the other one is going to be boho. So I'll be making 2 journals, but they won't be alike, even though they'll have the same cover. So this one I have already reinforced, and I'm going to get to work on this one, cleaning it up, reinforcing it, that type of thing. And so I'll get started. I'm so glad I missed doing videos. I just love doing this, and it's the teacher in me. And I just haven't been home. I moved, we bought our house June 7th. It took 2 weeks before we could move in, and a week later we left for Wisconsin. And I'm going to clean this with a baby wipe. This one doesn't, the paint or whatever the cover is does not come off with a baby wipe, so I can use this to clean it. So that's what I'm doing first. Anyway, we were here just about a little over a week, and trying to get as much done as possible, but we just had to leave boxes everywhere and go, and we went up to Wisconsin. We had a camper up there, an RV, and we moved down to Florida 8 years ago about, and we've been going up there and staying in the RV during the summer. Now, I think it was like the reverse of when we started coming down to Florida, and we're really here because we have a son who lives in Bradenton, and that's where we are now. But we had, when we first started coming down here, we would come down for a week or so at a time. And then we decided we wanted to stay longer. So we bought a park model in an RV park. And we came down for 2 months, and then the next year we came down for 3 months, and the next year we came down for 4 months, and I think by the time we were down here 5 months, we were on the way home, and we said we just don't want to go back anymore. We wanted to stay here. And our son in Wisconsin died of cancer. It's 10 years ago now. So 8 years ago, we decided we'd move down here where our other son is. And that's what we did. So my husband always jokes and says that he'll be here to put us in the old folks' home when we need to go. He'll drive us there. But we get along very well with him, so hopefully that's not going to be anytime soon. This is really getting dirty. Okay, I'm going to get another one and continue. So anyway, we went up to Wisconsin, and we got up there, And we sold our camper, but we were allowed to stay in it until the end of July. So it was a couple weeks that we did that, because the guy was a trucker and he was going to be gone, and we were letting him have the rest of the year that we already paid for. So it's kind of like rent, I guess. So we worked it out that we would be out the end of July. And so we packed things up and we took them to our friend's house. Our friends have a mobile home on their property, and when they bought the land, there was a mobile home on it, but they never lived in it. They built their house. First he planted trees and all kinds of other things, and they built their house and a big garage, and then he took the mobile home totally apart and like down to the frame, and remodeled the whole thing. And my friend's mother moved in. She had Alzheimer's, and she moved in and lived there for about 8 years before she died. Well, she didn't have Alzheimer's really bad when she first moved in. It was until the end. But then she stayed there. So now they've got this nice mobile home, and nobody lives in it, and only sometimes people stay in it when they come up to visit. And they keep saying, come and stay with us. We want you to stay there. So what we did is we moved into that mobile home, and she had taken things out, like there was a lot of there wasn't any pots and pans anymore and things like that, because she had let her kids take them. So that looks pretty good. So anyway, that I took some things from our trailer, some of the pots and pans, and different utensils and things over there, and we moved in and we stayed there for a number of weeks. I'm gonna pull this out. This is falling apart. I think anything I get out like this, it's kind of cool. It has the embossing on it, and that might be neat on snippets, so I'm going to keep that. It's in two parts, because this is still glued in, but this part came apart. So let's see. This part's stuck yet. Anyway, I'm going to get out as much as I can, because I don't want it falling apart when I put in my other. I've got some new ones that I'm putting in spine. So I'm going to pull this off as much as that comes off easily, and the rest will be glued down. So that's what I'm working on right now. Anyway, I'm going to take some of this other stuff out. It's a little bit, there's parts in here that are see-through. Not too bad. If I hold it up to the light, though, I can see some spots that are. And I'm taking off any of this edge stuff that I can get off, like on here too, if I need to. Very sharp tool. It's a carving tool. Okay. So we stayed with our friends for 3 weeks, and I would have gone right home after we sold our camper, but it was the 10th anniversary of our son's death, and our other son, who lives here in Florida, decided that he wanted to come up and go to the cemetery. So we stayed so that he could come up there. So the last week that we were there, he was there with us. And it was really fun to have him up there. He hasn't seen any of his cousins or aunts or uncles or anything. He hasn't been up. He was up just for the funeral 10 years ago, but other than that, he hasn't really visited up in Wisconsin. So he got to see everybody, his cousins and things, and we went to the cemetery on the anniversary date, which was August 13th. And he was really glad that he had come up, and it really affected him. He just broke down and sobbed when we were there, and I just held him. But that just was, you know, it was just very touching, spending that part of that day there. Then we had a big family reunion the next day, and that's when he got to see all the aunts and uncles and relatives and stuff like that. Got a lot of garbage on here. So, I was glad we stayed up there, even though I really wanted to get home and start working on our house. So we took him to the airport because he flew up. We took him to the airport. He flew out at 5:30 in the morning, so it was, like 4:30. Before 4:30, I think I dropped him off. And then I went back and we finished loading our car up and we left for home. So, that was it was really something else. But we got home and we started working on the house. And then we had a hurricane. It didn't affect us too badly, but we weren't sure. And you have to get everything ready. You have to take everything that you have outside and like chairs and tables and stuff like that. You can't leave any of that out because the wind could take it and throw it around like missiles if the hurricane does come right by you. So we had to get everything in from outside, and we were just starting to get some boxes unpacked and emptied and everything, and then we had to bring everything in. And we waited, and luckily it was about 100 miles out when it went by our area. And so we were lucky that we just got wind and rain, and that was it. So it just was really good. But it was being in the new house. This is one of the reasons we moved. We were in a double wide mobile home, and I just felt so vulnerable in there to things like hurricanes and winds, and we never had any damage to our home, but like all of our neighbors did all the time. So, like I say all the time, Ian, Irma, and now Idalia, 3 eye hurricanes. Like, what's with the eye hurricanes? And that's kind of because this is the worst time of year for hurricanes, and that's when they usually get up to eye. Like right now there's Lee and Margot, but they're both out in the middle of the ocean and not coming anywhere near Florida or any other state. And they're headed straight north right now. But okay, I also want to take some of this edge off, just because I know that it's kind of loose in some spots, and also then when I put the new end papers on, nothing will stick out. So I'm peeling some of that off too now. That's what I'm doing. You can see that under here. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's this purple has gotten a little more dull from over the years. This is a very old book, and I don't remember what year it was from, but it was pretty old. I'll have to look it up because I do have the first pages, or the first page with the name of the thing on somewhere. But I had cut it up. That's why I don't have the text blocks anymore. I had cut it up for using the pages because they were really cool pages. So get that done. So anyway, we get the hurricane done, and now we are working our buns off trying to get everything done. We decided everything needs to be done by Thanksgiving, at least the major things. So my husband is painting, and he hates painting. His idea of hell is being made to paint for eternity. That's how much he hates it. Right, today he's doing some woodwork in the dining area. So he's been working on painting, and I have been cleaning grout. We have many of our floors are tile, and the grout was filthy. It looked like it was almost like black. It was so dirty, and it's really beige. It's more like this color. But it just was so dirty. So I am doing a little bit every day, and because I can't do it all at once, my arms just hurt. I did some of it, the 2 bedrooms, before we left, and that time we had bought the house. I had get this off and into my garbage. Anyway, I had done the bedrooms, and my husband had painted the bedrooms because before we had our big things moved in, our furniture, we wanted that done. Well, mine was, because this is my studio, is the 2nd bedroom, and so this one was painted before we left, and the woodwork wasn't. So we'll end up doing that somewhere along the line. But now he's doing, I sort of like called the in-between room because it's in between all the other ones. That is where my computer's gonna go, and I think I'm ready to move on here. And my I have a new desk, and I'll be able to set the computer up really soon. Both bathrooms are tile floors too, and oh my gosh, I've just been really, my arms, I'm probably building up muscles, yay. Okay, now what I'm doing is I'm putting in a new spine to stiffen it. It's a square spine. I didn't think that one of these was enough. It was a kind of wimpy. This is just cardstock. So I am doubling it up, and I'm first going to glue those 2 together, and then I'm going to glue it in. Okay. while we were staying at our friend's house in that mobile home, they have an attached garage to their house, and then they have another garage that's freestanding, and he has a man cave on one end of it and his wood shop, and they had a car in there. And he also has attached, kind of by a breezeway to the mobile home, he has another big building that he keeps a tractor. He has everything out there, like a tractor and an excavator. You know, it's like he has all these big things. Well, he had 2 gators. They're like kind of, you know, they hop on them and they would run out to, because it's a big property. They would run out to another part of their property, and they would you know, use it to haul wood and stuff like that. Well, they had 2 of them. Well, he ran out to their garden and came back, and he parked it where he always parks it, which was under a lean-to right outside the let's see, I think I'm gonna do this on here. I can't remember what I did with the other one. I think I put it on the spine thing. So anyway, he ran out and he had the gator, and he put it under the lean-to, and about an hour later we were in the trailer. My son was there. We were making food for the big family reunion the next day. It was on the date of our son's death that this happened. They believe it was a short on the electrical part of the gator, and it started on fire. And of course it started the garage on fire. And so Colleen, my friend, ran in and said, "We have a fire out here." And at first we thought, oh, they don't have a fire pit. You know, it didn't even occur to us that it was like, oh, a fire, you know, like this thing is on fire. So she had 2 new kittens, and they were staying in the trailer with us, and we were socializing them while we were there. And I grabbed the cats, we put them in the, there was a crate there, and we went out to get out of the trailer, because it's like their house is here with their attached garage. Here's the garage with the man cave. Here's the trailer with this big building right next to it. We were closer than they are to the house. The trailer was closer, and I could see the flames just shooting. I mean, it was really going by the time she saw it. And they have all volunteer firefighters. I'll tell you, I got some very new respect for volunteer firefighters. They had firefighters there from like 4 different areas that are near them. And it took them a while to get there because they're volunteers, so they get the call, and then they have to, you know, get the trucks. And of course it's out in the country, so there's no water, so they have to get water tankers, and they just kept pulling them in over and over and over again. The next one would come in. What I'm going to do now, and I'm just going to quick say this, I'm going to put some, and on this one I'm using StazOn Black ink to kind of color the gray parts and the brown parts down here a little darker. And where things wore off on the edges and stuff. So I'm going to do that next here. And just kind of darken them up. Anyway, we were outside and the flames just kept getting higher and higher, and they didn't have enough water pressure to even get a hose to work, so they were filling up buckets and throwing it on the fire. And then the firefighters came with the tankers, and they started fighting the fire, and they did a wonderful job. It was so fantastic to see them do that. And they were there about 2.5 hours because they have to make sure there's no hot spots that could start on fire when they leave. And it's amazing the equipment they have, and you know, the way they can do that. They've got great tools for that. They could tell exactly where the hot spots were in the garage, and they did get the car out, and it only had melted plastic all along one side. They were lucky that they got it out. The firefighters had to break into the garage because where the fire started, the electrical stuff was in that corner. And so that burned up, and he couldn't open the garage door to get the car out. And all of his equipment mostly got wet because the car was on the side where the fire actually was. And it went up into the roof and burned a lot of the roof up. And they had chopped a hole in one side of the garage, and they shot water in from that side, and then they shot water. And the other thing is he had this huge propane tank that he used for all of his equipment and stuff to heat his garage in the wintertime. And he had wood for fireplace all stacked up right where the gator was. So all of that caught on fire. And the propane tank has like a special valve that releases gas when the tank heats up, so that you don't have it explode. And so the tanker was shooting gas out, which immediately, it was like a blowtorch, because the gas was being shot out, and it was burning once it got out of the tank. So that made the fire worse. And there were trees there, and the trees were starting to catch on fire. And the next thing was where we were staying, so I was glad they got it out before it got there. It was very scary. It was very scary. And that was our, like a couple days before we came home that happened. So, okay, I think that's gonna look better. I'm gonna end up putting something on these ends. They're a little bit, what do you call it? Frayed. So I'll be covering that. But really, the cover's in pretty good shape. Now, here's where the hinges are. And, of course, they have totally forgotten how to be hinges. So when I work on the reinforcement, I'm going to make those hinges remember how to be hinges. I got it done in the other one. I was experimenting because I had never done that before. So we are all learning together. Okay, I'm just kind of putting that on the edges up here. I'll put some down here. So, man, that was something else, but it was quite a productive trip. We'll still go up to Wisconsin. We just won't stay in a camper, and we can kind of pick when we're gonna go up. And I think the next time we go up, it'll be a year from now in the fall, because it would be nice to see fall. This thing's falling apart, and it's not that old. Fall trees, you know, the colors. Again, I miss stuff like that from being up there, and Florida's kind of boring as far as, you know, you don't really have seasons, and other than rainy season and not rainy season. And so that works. To see it up in Wisconsin, I miss that. I miss the spring flowers. I miss the fall leaves. So next time we go up, we won't go up in the summer. We'll go fall, spring, stuff like that, and visit relatives. We still both have brothers and brothers up there for Richard, brothers and sisters for me, or brother and sister, because one of Rich's only sister lives here in Florida. We used to live 8 houses away in the park where she is, with our double wide. She has a double wide too. Okay, so that part's done. Now what I'm going to do is put on, this is a really fine cheesecloth, and I'm putting that on to reinforce those hinge areas. And I'm going to start by putting it down in the middle, and then I'll work on these hinges once I get the sides done. Okay, so we are so glad to be back and working on our house. I'm so excited because I get to decorate. And I used to love decorating my house, and I would change it for the seasons and everything. And I kind of got past doing it that much. But this is my silicone makeup brush. Anyway. It's going to be fun having areas to decorate again. And in my other house, I had built-in hutch, which I don't have here, so I bought a new hutch. I bought an Amish-made hutch. There, that should be good. Get that kind of straightened out here, and a corner cabinet, and we're having our part of our kitchen redone in a number of weeks from now. And cut some of this off. It's all threading up here. I didn't cut it with the on grain, I guess. It's kind of pulled. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the sides. But I'm kind of looking forward to it. And I don't know if you saw my video from last Christmas. Christmas at our house is a lot of fun with lots of decorations, lots of Santas. So Rich was sitting there the other day saying, where are we going to put our trees? Because we have numerous trees. Where are we going to put our trees? What do you think? I'm like, you know what? I'll worry about that a little bit closer to Christmas. Now, I'm going to lay this into here. And lay this down. And I am going to start working on that hinge. Now, what I need to do is get this down, but it's flat. So I need to get it up without sticking. I need to get it so that it's sticking. It kind of comes over like, so I get a hinge there like this. I don't know if you can see that. But I don't want it, I want it to dry like that, but I really don't want it to stick together, because it has to open up. So I'm working at getting this hinge back into here. There we go. So the other thing I just started is I decided I had to lose some weight and get healthier. So I used to walk all the time. I went to the Y before school. When I was a teacher, so I got up and I'd go to the Y, work out, and then take a shower and get dressed and go to school. And I did all that. And it's like since I retired, well, my son had cancer. And we took care of him. And I just kind of let that kinds of stuff go. And when we first moved down here, I did a lot. But I used to walk all the time and, you know, that type of thing, and ride my bike. And then when COVID hit and I wasn't feeling very good, I kind of let myself go, and I stopped doing much exercise. And last year I started swimming, and there's a pool here too, but I haven't gone in it yet. It's not very big, but I'll just swim back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Okay, so I think now, see how this is kind of coming up on this side. That's what I want it to do. Without sticking. That's how I want it to dry. Anyway, I haven't been exercising, so I was watching some videos on YouTube of people who lost weight and walked a lot. And so a lot of them, you know, that's the only exercise they did when they were losing weight was walking. And they're all saying how wonderful it is. And I remember I did like walking when I did it. But I am so out of shape that I started walking last week. I decided to challenge a 30-minute a day walk for 30 days. That's where I'm starting. And So that is my goal. So I think I've done like 6 days or something. And oh, I'll tell you, I am so out of shape. It's just disgusting. But I'm doing it. Okay. That's looking pretty good. All right. Other than I've got dirty glue on my hands. This will all be covered up by the end papers and it'll be a hollow back spine. Even though it's not curved, it'll still be a hollow back spine. So hopefully you can see that I've got that side is now up in the air. It's not flat anymore. So now I've got to do the same thing to this side. So I'll work on that, and we'll see. This is already 41 minutes, so I guess I'll try to wrap it up within the next few minutes and let you go and, you know, come back another day. But I wanted to let you know everything that was going on, because I just have been missing making videos, and I really like doing this. And you know, I don't have a huge number of subscribers, but you know, I keep hoping that maybe there'll be more. So hint hint, if you're not a subscriber, would love it if you were became a subscriber, and I appreciate the subscribers that I do have so much. You know, comment below and tell me what's going on with you guys, and hopefully if you're still here, we're getting some little bit of information from me. But if nothing else, you've kind of been finding out what's been going on in my life and why I have not been here. Okay, now I'm going to start working on this one. Anyway, I just, you know, I'm glad to be back. I plan to be here regularly now, even though I'm still working on the house and doing my walk every day. I have time to work on this. Yeah, I've been missing that so much too. But even, I mean, I could be working on stuff. I did some things on here by myself, but it's so much nicer when I know that I've got you guys listening and watching my video. Hopefully you're working along with me. Okay. Still working at it. But anyway, let's see. One thing I'm also trying to do is resist setting my alarm. But I'm thinking I might have to get up early and walk right away, because the longer I wait, the hotter it gets. And it really, I mean, it's been like in the 90s pretty much every day since we've been back. High 80s or up to high 90s. Got some goopy glue. Okay, there, I'm getting my hinges back. So if you ever have a cover and you don't have the text block, there is a way to get it. to be hinges again. Now when I lay this open, this part's up in the air. I'm gonna let it dry, and so it can harden up and stay that way. Okay? Anyway, next time when I come back, I'm going to show you my signatures. I've got papers pulled out, and I'm just going to start working on the signatures. And I did keep in mind that one of them is going to be kind of a grungy all sorts book, and the other one is going to be boho, which I wanted to do for a long time. And I've got some fantastic fabrics and things to use. So anyway, thanks for being with me today. Thanks for listening to me chatter. And hopefully I'll be back very, very soon for the next video. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. Thanks for being with me. This is Carol from Friendly Quail saying bye.